Important. Hello, children. Air Max, what's going on? Thank you for joining me on an off day. Well, they're all off days now because it's every day. Let's do a quick here the wall. Everybody enjoy the wall. There's the wall. It's the same wall. All right, just coming in for a little bit today. We're not doing a super long live tonight. Rocky's not feeling good. He's being a little kerfuffly. Yeah, like he looks like he's spazzing a little bit. So, needless to say, we won't be going 2 hours tonight, even though he kind of wants me to. So I'll get in here, ask me some questions, check in. Yes, it's a pimple that's bleeding on the side of my cyst that bleeds. Ow! Ooh, my nose is connected to my left ankle. Nice. Justin, what is up, sir? Just saying hello. Kind of copying Pistol Pete tonight with the shaving of the head. Clipper Zero, that's what I should have as a screen name. Better put some chapstick on that head. It's getting cold out. Dude, my head is silky fucking smooth, bro. I don't polish the dome. Hello there, new Ruger 1022. No, it's actually the same bull barrel one that used to be in the A-Team chassis. It just happens to be in a heat seeker chassis, which is the video that's coming out tomorrow. Desert, what's going on? How are you? Jeff, Elliot, what is up? Nice look, thank you. How am I doing today? Sam, I'm okay. Thank you guys for coming today. You guys didn't have to do that. I'm just trying to keep my name out there and just get people to be like, hey, look, he's doing it every day. So, on a positive note, Daria Arms said they'd be willing to, play around and talk about doing some stuff. So, can't wait to do it. Green Hood Smoke says, damn, yeah. It's in such a nasty chassis. Yeah, the heat seeker is a great chassis. That grip is not the one that's supposed to be on there, though. I've got a Magpul MOE K2 sitting out in the truck that I just haven't gotten around to putting on it yet. I'm going to put it on tonight so that I can film the video, because that video has to go up tomorrow with the first sponsor spot. Cool shirt. Thank you. I stole this from Liberty or Middletown Firearms a long time ago. We were getting ready for an audit, and I got all sweaty, so I stole this shirt. My favorite not YouTuber. Unfortunately, I have to claim YouTuber status at this point. I'm working with a talent agent and sent over some more metrics today, and they're looking for sponsors for me. So, yes, I love that Island Barrel. Yeah. So, just bought me a new Walther PD 380. Awesome. Did you see the Hellcat 380 that's out? I've been so out of the gun world because I haven't been focusing on it recently. I might reach out to Springfield and see if they'll send me anything, because I love their guns. I've got their operator and their Garrison. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, I didn't even really pay any attention to it because I normally don't even worry about small guns, but if it's competitive with the M&P Bodyguard in a Hellcat chassis, but it's better. See, the 365 380 is not that impressive. It's actually a snappier version of a 365. That's the question I have with the Hellcat. Is it snappier? Hellcat bad as hell. Yep. Desert Armory, I don't plan on put people to sleep tonight, lol. Michael, what's going on? It's light as F, but I'm not a fan of 380. Me neither. Thoughts on the new 211? I put my hands on it. My buddy got them down at his shop, Middletown Firearms. He sold both of the ones he's got. Well, he's keeping one, and he sold one to a customer already. I told him I wanted it if the guy backed out. It feels like a really premium gun. However, it's $2,600, which is way too much money. Yeah, the Hellcat 380 is all over YouTube. Yeah, because the embargo lifted today. For those of you that don't know, when we get some guns, like when I did the T-Sauce PX9 Duty Comp, it was under embargo. I had the gun for like 3 weeks before I can release my video on it, and I still managed to be a day late with my video. So, T-Sauce loved me for that. Jared doesn't contact me anymore. I reach out to him, even have his cell phone number. When I text him, he doesn't answer back, so I hope everything's fine with him. 2600 does not sound like it's worth it. It's bordering on worth it. You have to really like the SIG name because it's a 2011 that is dedicated SIG mags, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're locking into SIG as a platform. The main reason that would make sense to someone like me would be if I still had the CMMG Banshee that took 320 mags, because that used the extended 320 mags, so I could be running the 33 rounders in my 211. Do I have a double barrel shotgun? No, I don't. Do I own a Ruger 57? No, I never bought the Ruger 57. I didn't have enough features for the money. 1911. Hello. Wanting to get a Palmetto dagger next. There's one right there. Fake guns. Where? Where are the fake guns? Hey, Joe, labeled all my magazines today. What a difference. Thanks for the info. No problem, dude. And it, like I said, it does nothing to them. You just use some rubbing alcohol. It'll take it off without damaging the finish. Sorry if the head is a little shiny today. You guys will live with it. Nice airsoft. My bro has more sun. Yeah. Do me a favor. Click on the name on my channel and sort through the videos for guns. Watch all 2,400 of them and see how many of them say that I borrowed them. And also, why are you proud when somebody else that you know has more guns than me? If you don't have more guns than me, you like your Palmetto? Palmetto's fine. Palmetto is a company that specializes in hitting a price point with their guns. So you wind up with some guns that are not as good as others. If you know that going in, you can make them very good guns. Illinois guy here again. I'm thinking of getting an LEP226 DAC and 40 for cheap and making a project gun. Upgrade paint, recoil spring, guide rod, etc. Thoughts? Part of the fun of gun enthusiasm, dude. That sounds like a fun build, dude. The DAC is a fun, cool trigger system. For those of you that don't know, DAC stands for Double Action Kellerman. It was designed by a guy named Kellerman, and it's interesting how it works. Yeah, absolutely, dude. It sounds like a fun build. Do it. Bet you it runs great. Guns are epic. Yeah, they are. Do you have an M4A1? No, I don't. What do you carry, inside or outside? Inside the waistband when I'm out in public, outside or in the pocket when I'm running in my store. You look like a badass with no hair. So, I've had thinning hair my entire life. If you look, I have like the Statham hair where it's just super thin up top. So if I buzz it down like this, it looks better. Do you have a high point rifle? No. Really never got into the high point rifles. Had a few chances to buy them. I just never wanted one. You found a Bren 10? Jesus, that's a grail gun. That's awesome, dude. Judging by the wall, I want to ask you a question. 3 inches, but most people don't like it that wide. What's up, digging the new shave cut? I do this once or twice a year, brother. I get tired of waiting for the top to grow so I can buzz down the sides, and I just get bored with some clippers, and I just take it all off. Finna get a Rock On VR shotgun. You ain't got to reload, and it's $500. Yeah, just make sure that you do the break-in procedure. The VR80 needs to be shot with high brass for at least 50 rounds. I would recommend 100 rounds to break in the recoil springs. Otherwise, you can lock the bolt back and just leave it back for a month. Do I have any Ithaca Model 37s? I used to. I don't anymore. I'm not a vintage guy. I don't really care about vintage guns. Saw some guns at a local pawn shop. Was wondering your opinion on buying used guns, either from a pawn shop or any other sellers in general. There's nothing wrong with it. There are things you obviously want to look at, but I can tell you that if a pawn shop has an FFL, there's hopefully a chance that they know what to look for when they buy the guns. But you can usually tell right away whether a gun's been abused or if it's just a used gun. So I actually, 80% of my collection is used guns. I've got a few new guns because they were new models, but the vast majority of my collection is used guns. Do you know someone named Pete Jackson, the director? How much to grow a Fu Manchu stash? Well, it would take me years. So, $300,000. So, Justin, I'm at that point again where I don't care if you get rid of everybody. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Yeah, so the Fu Manchu, I'll do a Fu Manchu if somebody really want me to, but it'd take forever. Yep. They did that, and it was on yesterday, so they started it again yesterday, Justin. It sucks because they're using the number, so I don't know a lot of people. What gun oil do I use? I use Wilson Combat Extreme Lube or Extreme Gun Oils. Ew, spam. Sounds good. Do you have any things to look at for when you buy used guns, like personal nitpicking or just stuff to make sure it doesn't blow up my hands? Look at the condition of the chamber. Make sure the gun is empty. Look at the rifling. Check the condition of the follower and the mag. Make sure that it's not all chewed up, or sometimes people will run a lot of steel cased ammo, and steel cased ammo can cause issues internally with guns. But you also want to do things like, if it's a striker, pull the striker forward a little bit, make it protrude out of its hold, and make sure the tip is still there. Same thing if it's like a hammer fired 1911 or something like that. Take a pen, push the firing pin in, make sure that the firing pin comes all the way through the breech face so that you can make sure that it's going to run. Yeah, you're Hawaiian, Justin. You don't have a say. You can fix that issue with the handle name in your studios. Yeah, you can change your handle name to your actual name, but a lot of people aren't even bothering. Is an 1894 Winchester model, is a model 1894 a good gun? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I have one from 1939. Do you have a Smith & Wesson 500 and Desert Eagle 50 caliber? I had the 460 XVR and I sold my Desert Eagle. But yeah, Robert Lord, my grandfather actually worked for Winchester for decades. Yes, I thoroughly endorse the Winchester model 1894. My buddies are giving me crap about using my new Walther PD380 for my EDC, but I love it. Fuck your friends, man. Friends don't pick on each other's guns unless they own Glocks. If a pawn shop does not have or want to let you use a bore scope, don't buy. No. Bring your own. Don't expect a gun store to have a pawn shop to have a bore scope. That's too far. But if they refuse to let you inspect the gun, I agree with you, Justin. Is anything new coming out that you know of? Well, the Hellcat 380 dropped and I didn't even know. Got a 1022 takedown. No, that is a 1022 target bull barrel in a Sharps Brothers Heat Seeker chassis. Basically, that's what an $800 Ruger looks like with a $1,000 suppressor. So that's an $1,800 1022. What do I think about Honda Civics? I do not think about Honda Civics. Honda Civics are fine. They're interesting that they're still one of the few manuals you can get, but I am not a fan of their design. Too many weird angles that intersect. I owned a body shop for 10 years, so for me to see all this stupid-ass body lines that companies seem to think they need to put into their cars, it's horrendous. Ryan, what's up? You can muzzle load a pencil in a 1911 and it will launch. Yeah, pretty much anything will, as long as it doesn't interfere with the bore of the gun. So as long as it's not forced into the barrel. You have an AK-47? Yes, I've got a few of them. Egghead, thank you. What do you think about the Springfield Echelon? I like it. I've got the Sharps Brothers chassis for that. So for those of you that don't know, John Sharps, he's the owner of Sharps Brothers, one of the owners. Sharps Brothers, he's one of the brothers. He sent me the Echelon frame a long time ago, and I liked it so much, and the video did well, so then he sent me the RXN frame, and that did extremely well, so he sent me the Heat Seeker chassis recently. Do you have a Glock 18? No, but I have an FFL and I'm getting an SOT, so I can get one if I want. How do you feel about the CZP-10? Sorry to hear about that. I don't eat fish, but I don't want to read that out. The CZP-10 is an excellent choice if you are like me and you're Glock averse because you just don't like the Glock company. Just purchased a 2025 Ridge XR limited edition, ready to go hunting. Gotcha. Thoughts on Aero Precision? They're fine. I don't really have much of an opinion about Aero Precision. They're fine. They've been around a long time. Their guns, their parts were fine. Why don't you like Glocks? I just bought a 20C in Cali because of the new Glock damn law. Glock is, as a company, they're overpriced. They talk up their product too much. They keep claiming that they're perfect when they're not. The reason a Glock runs reliably, and some people will like this fact, but the reason a Glock runs reliably is because it has terrible tolerances. When you can take the frame and the slide and shake them like this and the gun rattles, and you can see through the frame, between the frame and the slide, and you can see the recoil spring, that's the only reason that gun is reliable. If they built Glocks to the same tolerance as a 1911 or a Beretta or any other real gun, the guns would not run. They would be shit quality reliability. But because of their mediocrity, they run reliably. But they claim their perfection. Also, Glock claims perfection when they're using Browning's tilting locking action, so they're using John Moses' Browning's design instead of one of their own. Finally, a level-headed view. Thank you. What do you think about High Point? Good gun to start if I have dreads and a Civic. Okay. You think Bitcoin will replace the U.S. dollar? No. No. In the foreseeable future, no fiat, no cryptocurrency, no digital currency will actually replace the gold standard. It's just, we've gone to a place where, like in Back to the Future, you can use your thumbprint and your fucking watch. I can take this and buy shit if I want, you know. But yeah. He doesn't like Glock, but I carry my 43X. Yep. Nice hair, Bald Brothers. I got tired of caring about it. So fucking clippers, man. Am I Chinese or Japanese? Neither. Do you have a Walther P38? No, actually I sold mine. I had a 1941 with the spicy chicken on it, and I sold it to some good buddies of mine because my first thought after I bought it was, I'm going to refinish it. So I stopped myself and sold it to a buddy of mine. It was numbers matching almost completely. The magazine was one digit off. So whatever Nazi had that gun, his bunkmate had the other gun, and they swapped mags at some point. What guns did John Wick have? Well, if we're talking about the real John Wick movie, the first one, he had he had an HK P30L. He would have had a VP9, but the VP9 didn't come out until 6 months after the movie ended. He also had a small frame Glock. He didn't have Terran Tactical bullshit until number 2. Thoughts on M&P? I like the M&P. It's fine. Best gun to protect your home. Shotgun with birdshot or buckshot. That will pepper the hell out of something with less chance of overpenetration. But I have a shotgun AR in 1911 always ready to go. FNX 45. I like the FNX 45. Dove chocolate tastes way better than their soap. You're not wrong. What's your favorite gun? My favorite guns are 1911 platforms. You can see there's a lot of 1911 base guns on that wall. And that's why. He has a badass Benelli shotgun. Yeah, he had a custom Benelli M2 in the second movie, and then they wound up going with the Gen whatever eventually. But yeah. Hey, Paul, what's up? What do you use to shave your head? Any recommendation for head shavers you tried? It's not shaved. It's just buzzed down. I just use wall clippers with no guard on them, and it just cuts my hair down short. Best suppressed AR pistol. 300 Blackout. I have the 1911 custom Kimber Tactical. Nice. The one in John Wick was a Warrior, though. Not a custom combat or tactical. I don't know who Skeeter Skeleton is. 1301 Beretta or Benelli M4. Two different guns in two different price brackets. If they were the same price, Benelli M4. But because it's half the price, I'd go with 1301. What's the green gun behind you? The green gun behind me is a 3D printed non-firing replica of a Chiappa Rhino. My buddy Drunk Mouse knows I don't like Chiappa. The two companies that I really don't like are Glock, Chiappa, and Staccato. Those are the two I really don't like. James Brown, what's up, dude? 10 millimeter, probably a 1911 Delta Elite. M4 all the way. There you go. Are we live right now? I'm so confused right now. Yes, I'm doing lives every single day, Bruce. For those of you that don't know, my buddy Bruce Banner there, he was one of my earlier OGs, and he does live streaming now, and he does range videos and shorts. So check out his channel. Go check him out. Baldy over there, what's it like to have no hair? I don't look up, brother. I cut the hair off because I was playing VR and the hair was getting caught. So fuck it. Why not Glock? I already explained it, brother. They're boring. They're unintuitive. They have shit tolerances. They're marketed like Apple products. Every company that manufactures a Glock clone sells it for in the 300s. Glock should be selling at or below 300, but they don't want to because they're trying to be Apple and maintain their name. Not answering that question again. Silver 1911, nobody won't see that coming. Honestly, the only thing Glock is doing good is offering more calibers in their current weapons. Other manufacturers need to do other calibers. Literally every single manufacturer that makes a striker-fired handgun offers in 9, 40, 45, and 10. Smith & Wesson, every one of those calibers. Glock, every one of those calibers. FN, you can get them in every single caliber. So that phrase literally just is not accurate at all, brother. What can you say about the P89 double action only? I have the P95. The P89 was really cool, and I don't really have a ton of shooting experience with the 89, but my 95 was really nice, and that's just a polymer frame version of it. What's the best Daniel Defense rifle to buy? Honestly, any Daniel Defense rifle is the same. They're all the same. They're like Glock. Daniel Defense DDM4, V7, V8, V11, M406-38B, Hike. They're all the same. Do you ever have a grenade? Yes, I put Olights on a lot of my guns. Springfield is awesome. Yeah, it's a good city. What do you think about Smith & Wesson Model 916? I'm thinking about which one is the 916. I'd have to look that up. What's your take on Canik? I like Canik. Canik is a licensed Walther the design. It's not a clone because it was licensed from Walther, and they make pretty good guns. What do you think about the Honey Badger? Don't know if I want to get the SIG Spear chambered in 300 Blackout. If you're going to get the SIG MCX Spear, get it in 6.8x51. Don't puss out and get the wrong caliber. That's like people that buy a 357 Desert Eagle and still call it, or then still call them Deagles. Deagles are 50 cal. You either have a Desert Eagle 44, Desert Eagle 357, or you have a Deagle in 50. So if you want to get an MCX Spear, get 6.8x51 or don't get one. Do you have a sniper rifle? No. What's the second rifle down? Guessing AR, but the lighting is off. No, that's actually a 1022. It is in a Heat Seeker chassis from Sharps Brothers. Here, let me stand up and show it to you guys. A lot of you people coming in on a Tuesday. I like this. This everyday bullshit with live is going to be good for us, I think. So, Sharps Brothers, John over there at Sharps Brothers sent that to me. So, it took my, if you remember, I had that in an A-Team chassis side folder, but that is a 1022 bull barrel, so no sights on it, in the Heat Seeker chassis, which uses AR grip, AR buttstock, and I threw my suppressor on there. So to duplicate that rifle right now, because of that and that's an $1,800 rifle. Needless to say, I did not pay $1,800 for that rifle. I would never pay $1,800 myself for that rifle. Other manufacturers only offer other calibers in the compact and full-size options, but not subcompacts. The only angle Glock has on the market companies. If you're talking about like the 29, 30, 31s, whatever, who cares, man? They're outdated tech. Where's the doggy? He's sleeping on the floor. He's not feeling well. What do you think of the VR80 shotgun? It's fine. It's made by Daria Arms out of Turkey. I actually do like Daria. I've done that gun. That DY9 has their top on it. I bought the gun, and then they reached out to me. They're like, hey, we saw you did a video on the DY9. Do you want the island barrel top on it? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And they're like, please stop cussing at me. I'm like, fuck, oh, sorry. I'm torn between getting a Mossberg 590, Benelli Supernova. What should I pick? Either one is a good choice, man. They're both good guns. Whatever you like. What do you think of the Dracos? I don't think about Dracos. Dracos are stupid. Why would you take a 7.62x39 gun, take off the brace or the buttstock, and shorten the barrel? That's like if you stood up, took your pants off, and cut 3 inches off your dick. Yes, it's still going to shoot something out of it, but it's not going to be accurate, and it's not fun for anybody. Have you shot the 1911 with the comp yet? Which 1911 with the comp? That one? No. I've shot 1911s with that comp on it, though. That's the Punisher 1911 comp. Run 1300 per FPS ammo and semi-auto shotties, and they will cycle perfectly. That's true. Thoughts on the 6-hour P320? I've got several. I like them. They're fine. Don't be a pussy. Don't be cheap. Buy one with a flat face trigger. Get the X full or the M17 X full, and you won't have any problems. Or, you know, be an idiot, be a pussy, try to save $40 and shoot yourself. Are those real? Nope. What's your favorite gun? 1911s. Hey man, same problem as me, owning firearms without having opportunities to run them. What do you mean without the opportunities to run them? I shoot every gun on that wall. Have I tried the Mischief Machines grip? No, I have not. I've got the X5 Legion frame. I've got a AXG Legion frame. I've got standard X full frames. I want the Sharps Brothers frame, but I don't want to push them too much unless the Heat Seeker video does well. And then maybe I might do an Icarus if Icarus is still doing them. Why don't you buy more? Because guns cost money. What do you think about TSAS or Canik? Both companies are fine. Turkish companies have come a long way in the last 10 years. They are much better than they used to be. Quality is a lot better, and the American guys at TSAS are pretty solid. I have not met personally with the Canik guys, but they have American facilities now. They're producing out of Florida, and that is awesome. You like Chris Vectors? I had one for about 1.5 years because my buddy forgot I had it, and I only shot it twice, so it's fine. It's just not my style. What's good red dot for a 7-inch SBR? If you're using a 7-inch SBR, you're probably going to be close quartering it, so I would use something like just a regular Romeo 5 or something similar. Primary Arms SLX would be a good choice. That has a lighted reticle that's always there, so even if the battery dies, you still have a reticle. Why are you so zesty? Why are people so stupid? Motherfuckers come in here and they ask stupid questions in a stupid way, and they get offended when I fucking clap back. Guess what? You're not funny. Not you. I'm not saying you, buddy. But when motherfuckers come in here and they think they're smart, and then they get clapped back on and they turn into little bitches hiding under their mama's fucking skirt and balls, it's just funny to me. Canik Prime on my side. My buddy has the Prime. I haven't shot... Oh, that's a lie. I shot his Prime. No, he has the LS. You got the Pro. Nice. Nice airsoft guns. Thank you. They're awesome. Is that a Boltec? Which one? You're talking about the Bullpup? No, that is a Keltec KS7. Love my Prime. Primes are cool. Not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of the smaller guns, but I respect them. What do I think of micro AR-15s like a 4-inch? In 9mm, I'm perfectly fine with them, but in like a 5.56, 223, no. 300 blackout, you should be running at least a 7-inch. So if you're going to get a rifle caliber, get at least a 7.5-inch. If you're going to run pistol caliber, then who cares? Get whatever you want. Fucking take the barrel, cut the barrel off, and just run it from the chamber. It'll still fire. I got a Boltec. The KS7 is sweet. That looks similar. So Keltec came out first to the American market with the KS7, or at least they announced it first, and then the Turkish companies all started banging theirs out. I want the CZ. Well, there you go. What kind of tea do you like? Reality. What do you think about Glock 43X? I don't think about it at all. It's a gun. It shoots bullets. It's fine. It's not my style. I don't like Glock. Why don't you like Glock? Because I don't like them. And yes, that's a Glock tattoo, but I still don't like Glock. Zombie apocalypse gun. A shotgun. Very, very versatile. New at Red Dot's question. I have a used Trigicon RMO9 installed in my gun. I know how to turn it on, but does it shut off itself or does it stay on? I believe it is a sleep with the shake awake, but the best thing to do is literally just set it down and leave it alone. They usually turn off in 2 to 4 minutes. Will 38 snub nose stop anyone? Yes, especially midgets. You shoot a midget with the 38, it's like shooting them with the 50. Do you have a certain gun brand for like oils if you have a gun that needs to be oil deoxidized? Deoxidized, it all depends on how bad the oxidation layer is. If it's actually, pardon me, if it started to flash rust, I actually use a diluted vinegar solution. That actually removes it, but you got to be quick because it can take off the finish. Otherwise, I'll use gun scrubber, but again, because it's got acetone in it, you have to clean it off right away. And then I use Wilson Combat Lubes, oil and grease. Nice head. That's what all the guns say after I'm done with. Wait. Thank you for the info. No problem. What build would you do to an Echelon? Go look at my videos when you're done watching me here tonight and look at the Sharps Brothers Echelon. All metal Echelon, I believe, is the title. I have it built out and it's got a fuck. What optic is on that? It's got the Canic MEO3 on it. No, I think I took that off and put that on the Canic TTI. Or did I? Trying to remember which gun has which optics. Sorry, you're short of the Ruger 5.7 carbine. It looks cool. I did that video when the carbine was first released, but yeah, it's cool that it still has popularity. 17 or 19, I have big hands. Most people with big hands can grip either one. It depends on how you're going to be using it. If it's concealed carry, go with the 19. If you don't care, go with the 17. I like the Icarus on the Echelon. Yeah, it's a good frame. I had the frame too, but I shot stones and I decided I like the Sharps Brothers better for a carry. You look high. Well, I feel like I'm fucking just tired as hell, so. No, I am not high. Thankfully, I am just always this awesome. No, the problem is I have a fucking LED light right in my eyes to keep it bright in here, and it really affects my vision. I have photosensitivity in my eyes, and LED and fluorescent lights fucking trigger it. But if I use an incandescent bulb, the auto white balance goes crazy. Either way, switch out the grip mic. Mostly you're likely going to get a holster made for it. Fuck, I just read that terribly, Stone. Move the light. It's all the way across the room, dude. It's an LED light. It has a high intensity. It actually has a cover over it, but it still bothers me. $800 and I'll put a hat on. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. In your opinion, is the Desert Eagle good? In what respect? As a gun, not really. They're kind of touchy about running. They're gas operated and you need a good ammo to make them run reliably. As a one-shot stop, yes. As a deterrent, yes. I feel you on the eyes. I'm going on the 20th to set up my cataract surgery. I hope it goes well, Chaos. But I had LASIK 20 months ago. It didn't do anything to correct that issue. I've had light sensitivity, especially in the right eye. If you notice the right eye is lazy and it's always closed during bright lights, or almost always completely closed, that's because this eye I scratched the shit out of the cornea. Well, my sister did. She threw a toy that went into my eye when I was 5 and fucked up my eye. Take on ATF. ATF is fine. Wait, what? Is there an automatic? An automatic what? Most powerful handgun. That varies day to day, time to time. I mean, if you're talking about just a handgun, it's going to be probably one of the BFR revolvers. I mean, if you're talking about like size to power, a Bond Arm Cyclops single shot 4570 is probably an insane handgun. People are dangerous, not guns. Exactly. A gun has no ill will. A gun has no desires. A gun has no feelings. It is not sentient. Unless it's that one from Cyberpunk, but that's still a ways off. So it's the person that is wielding the firearm, or in the case of a lot of people that make these comments, it's you motherfuckers that, think of this shit. Any thoughts on Miller Precision 2011? Seem pricey. I haven't put my hands on one, but a lot of them, like Jacob Gray 2011s, are super pricey. I don't see the value in a lot of those smaller companies, but I don't know. Maybe if I ever get my hands on one, I'll change my tune. Did she say sorry? That was 41 years ago. I honestly don't remember, and I don't really care. Any experience with Spanish Star pistols? That's literally a fire star right there. Everyone asks you your favorite. What's your worst gun you've ever owned? Worst gun I've ever owned. It's kind of a tie. I had a Jimenez Arms JA9, which is a terrible gun to shoot. Hurts like hell. Sky CPX1 in 9mm. That was a terrible gun to shoot. And my Chiappa M922, which I have in a shadow box. It's in storage somewhere. It doesn't need to be tracked because I literally blew it apart with my 30-30. They banned heroin, but you can still go and find it almost everywhere. What do you think would happen if they banned guns? Criminals would have guns, and we would be overwhelmed with violence regardless. Look at Britain. Bread doesn't make sandwiches, people do. Pretty much. Fat doesn't make people fat. People make fat people fat. I mean, I don't know where to find heroin. Yeah, right, dude. Fucking just go downtown. Do you ever carry a revolver? If so, which one? Every now and then I've carried my revolver. It's a Ruger GP100. It's fine. 357, better than a Colt, in my opinion. Is there a semi-automatic 22 rifle? Yeah, there are plenty of them out there, dude. I'm not Google. Just Google those questions, brother. I'd be an outlaw. How long did it take you to get your collection? I'm still working on it, but like serious collecting, 3 years. This is the 2025 wall, and it's not even the complete 2025 wall. So me being fat is my own fault. Yep. Hello, Craig. FBI warning. What do you think of the Smith & Wesson CSX? It was an interesting gun when it first came out. I put my hands on it. I hated the trigger. I have not messed with the E series. It's a little bit longer and supposedly has a much better trigger. I will get one at some point. What's the best XD series pistol out there? The XDM9 Pro. 5.5 inch with the optics cut, OSP ready, or 5.25 inch. That's the best one. No, Justin, it's Joe's fault. Everything is my fault. What insurance do you have as a CC? I have lawyers. I don't have insurance. Insurance is stupid, and if you buy it, you're stupid. YouTube has created an environment where if somebody tells you you need an insurance for something, it seems more urgent than it actually is. What I recommend you do is just get a lawyer on retainer. There's actually companies called lawyers on retainers. But what you want to do, especially if you don't leave your home area, let's say you live in Atlanta, Georgia, your best bet is to go to a 2A lawyer in Atlanta and get them on retainer or find out what their retainer is. Because if you sign up with, say, USCCA, US Law Shield, etc., and you wind up having to use them, they are going to call the lawyer in your area anyway. So you might as well cut out the fucking middleman and not spend that money unless you have to. Because the secret is, USCCA will drop your ass if they don't think that they'll win the case, or they will encourage you to take a plea deal. USCCA does not give a rat's ass about its clients. They do not care. If they cared, they wouldn't be giving away free packages with every sign-up. We're giving you a free survival kit. Why don't you just fucking pay the lawyers to do their job instead of dropping me when I have to use my gun in self-defense? So, anyways, my mom was the head of the National Paralegal Association for the United States. She knows a lot of lawyers, so I'm good. Am I a veteran? No. Don't put it with question marks. Oh, I just want to see how long you'll keep typing it, Stone. Get a real lawyer. Pretty much, man. I can still carry a rocket-propelled mine-clearing rope charge. Interesting. Take on SIG 320s. If you go and you actually do the research on it, you will find they are not nearly as dangerous as they are. They are dangerous in the fact that if it's a pre-2021 build with a curved trigger, being an M17, M18, or a base model, they have the potential to uncommanded discharge. The biggest problem with the SIG is SIG itself, the way they handled the problem, the way they dealt with the public, and the way that they handled the PR mess of their guns. They royally screwed up, which caused the whole thing to get blown up even more out of proportion. In fact, the biggest problem with P320s, there are more instances of their unsupported chambers causing the guns to detonate than there are of accidental and uncommanded discharges. What's the most common reason for failure to feed in a mid-price 1911? The magazine. We've done this conversation, and in fact, I always keep guns and ammos and fucking mags laying around. So this is a $500 1911 mag, so it's out of a $500 1911. It is a ATI Tactical fucking 45 AC. Actually, it's the one out of that G-Force, because I put a Wilson Combat in it, because fuck these guys. ACT or KCI mag. It uses the traditional old school style steel follower that is super flimsy, whereas in comparison to a good magazine, a Wilson Combats use good followers and good springs. These magazines are the same length as the original 7-rounders. They were not designed originally to use 8 rounds of 45 ACP. Wilson Combat redid the springs. The cup inside of the follower is shaped differently. And if you notice, the follower is at a different angle than the factory supplied style. This is the GI style. This is the current style. This is a more modern follower design. This is the number one reason why your cheap 1911 misfeeds. Joe, I'm glad no lawyers, so now I don't have to worry about anything I do. Lol. 3 guns you recommend every man should own. I actually did a video on this. You need a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol. And in that video, I recommended a Maverick 88. Just a basic 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. Works amazingly well. An AR-15 from a reputable brand, even a $500 one, is going to be fine as long as it's an all-metal gun. Usually they're all made out of the same materials. And in the United States, for U.S.-based manufacturers, there's only 4 companies that manufacture them. In fact, Daniel Defense's lowers are made by Diamondback. And then a pistol of some sort, and I recommended a Glock because if you're not an enthusiast, then it'll work. Is running a super safety on an AK and training with it viable or LARP? It's not really LARP, because to be LARPing, you either have to be recreating Vietnam or an Afghan war or Russian Cold Front War stuff. In terms of viable, anything is viable if you train with it, but if you're open carrying an AK-47, that's a completely different issue. I've had good luck with Mekgar magazine. Absolutely. Mekgar makes probably 80% of all magazines for manufacturers. Even ones that aren't marked Mekgar are made by Mekgar. Well, this one is marked Mekgar. But yeah, Mekgar makes more mags than anybody. Won't be open carry. Good answer. There you go. Where can we buy online? I'm not doing much in the way of gun store stuff right now. Browning is replacing Duratouch stocks under a settlement. They were originally tacky, but they deteriorate and become sticky like glue. I don't like any of that shit where you have that feel. So the Chris Sphinx up here, that has a rubberized grip. And the one that's on the gun feels completely different from the ones in the box because that one has had hand oils get into it and deteriorate the rubber. Can I see any Ruger gun? There's a 1022 up there. I live in the UK. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. God loves America. Yeah. Why don't you emigrate? Come on over. Just miss that whole Canada shit. How do you feel about the Rock Island 1911? My first gun was a 1911 from Rock Island. I like them. They are very tunable. Some of them are really nice out of the box. I've got the double stack 1911 and 9mm for competition. It was a $550 gun with an optic, and the thing is as smooth as my old staccatos were. What's the one next to it? Next to which one? The best handgun is a 1911. Agreed. What's the price for the ones on the wall? The ones on the wall are not for sale. Can I see any 6-hour gun? If it's not on the wall, I can't pick them up, so no. Exchange all your collections of guns for a real alien gun from planet Saturn. Would you do it? No. Because that would indicate that there's life on another planet, and if there's life on another planet that has gone out of our field of detection for this long, I don't want to fuck with them. You think gun culture is toxic? No, I think YouTube is toxic. I think the chat section on YouTube's and Twitch, fuck, Twitch and Kick, holy shit. Why did you shave your head? Because my hair's falling out. So my hair's extremely thin, and I got tired of it flopping around. So fuck it, I buzzed it off. I do it once or twice a year just because I get bored. Hey guys, do me a favor, hit the like button for me. I'm trying to fuck with the algorithm. So by doing this every day, having you guys come along, you guys are helping me grow the channel. So if you can just do that for me, that'd be awesome. Guns are actually easier to make than electronic gadgets. In some respects, yeah. Thought about a law where civilian gun ownership was limited by what cartridge the U.S. military uses. Bullets, 9mm Savage will all become unavailable to gun owners. Is that feasible? No, because number one, that is an infringement on firearms rights. Number two, because the U.S. military would then just adopt every cartridge as a way to get around that law and try to confiscate all guns from all American citizens. Because 900-year-old white men in power think that we don't need guns. There's a zombie apocalypse. I'm chilling with you, brother. If there's a zombie apocalypse, don't come within 200 yards of my place, otherwise you're joining the zombies. Hey, I've been collecting guns since I was 10 years old. I've got around 70 or 80. Thanks a lot for coming on YouTube and showing off some cool guns that you own. I hope you have a good day. Well, Joe, thank you very much for saying that. Awesome, man. 70, 80 guns is an amazing collection, dude. Congratulations, brother. Thank you. I hope you have a good day, too. Already liked, smash the button for the TJS. Thank you. Also, I am starting to record some of my VR playtime. I may put it in a subsection on here just so I can monetize it and get the attention to it, and then it'll all switch to another channel. So I might be doing live streaming like Ghost of Tabor and shit like that. So, Mouse, what's up? What's the thing under the bolt action? The thing under the bolt action is an amazingly stupidly expensive but super duper cool Ruger 1022 in a Sharps Brothers chassis. I made my Z-Pap automatic. Well, don't tell the wrong guys that. You're a badass. My badass what? I'm awesome, bro. Thank you. You're awesome, David. What's your range to get your record sealed to get my gun rights back if I'm a felon? It varies state to state, Tristan. Some states don't even allow you to get your rights back, but typically it's around 10 years. And your record doesn't get sealed. It just gets, you can apply to get your gun rights back. What's the rarest gun you own? The rarest gun I own would probably be my 1903 pocket hammerless, built in 1907. Although my 1939 Winchester 3030 is pretty rare, and fuck, my STI Grandmaster 38 Super Major is pretty rare. Tristan said, heard, thank you. You're welcome, dude. Finally, you read my stuff. What are your opinions on the life card? Oh, I read your stuff the whole time, but when you just type 2 words and a bunch of question marks, I'm not answering it. Life card is interesting. It's useless. It's single shot that you have to open, fold, and then cock, and then it has no ejector for when you open it. So it's interesting, but it's not useful. Fifth gun from top, must know what it is, please, and thank you. Fifth gun from top, which way? There's a lot of guns that are fifth from the top. If we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one, the black one next to the silver one, is a Chris Finks. The silver one is an XP Pro from Fusion Firearms. Have I ever done the shooting range game? Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades? Yes, I have. I was thinking about reviewing guns in hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades just to fuck with people. What is that tattoo on your inner arm? Looks like a CPU or something. So I just have different like technological tattoos that run all the way up my arm. I'm covering a lot of scars on that arm. This arm is going to be skulls and skeletons and horror based if I ever get around to doing it again. So I'm working with some people to try to get sponsorships on the channel, trying to make this a living so I don't have to worry about the gun store as much anymore. And then, yeah, then I'll get back to the tattoos. They're kind of on hold right now. You played more Battlefield 6 last night. It was better playing it online. That typically is the way it goes, Mouse. It's always better to play online. What are some easy 1911 mods for a beginner? Recoil spring, guide rods, magazine release, because that's literally a flathead screwdriver, your takedowns, all that stuff. Those are all super easy to change out. How do you feel about the 19X for EDC? I don't really like Glock at all, but it's fine. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it actually goes against the edict for EDCs. When you're carrying inside the waistband, I mean, if you're carrying outside the waistband, nobody cares. But if you're carrying inside the waistband, the part that prints is the grip of the gun. So a 19X literally gives it a 17 length frame, so it'll print more. That would be funny, VR reviews. Yeah, I figured I'd do one on some of the guns in the game just for fun. I might do a Gun Tuber reacts to or a Gun Tuber play series where I like play VR Tarkov or Ghost of Tabor, Exfil Zone. I've got both of those and a couple other games. I can tell you right now, there are some people that are excellent at the games in VR, but they don't shoot anything like real life. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades actually uses sight pictures and stuff the right way. Tabor and Exfil Zone do not. Hi, Vic. Thank you for coming in, brother. Sig or Glock? Sig would watch the stream. Thank you. This guy knows his stuff. I know a little bit, Dave. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button, guys. I can't buy potato chips without your likes. Nice background. Thank you. Gonna head out. Yep. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Is a Steyr AUG still practical? Not really. And here's the thing: I have a problem with a lot of bullpup rifles in the United States, Hellion included. Those guns were designed to be fully automatic. We don't get them fully automatic here in the United States, so we lose out the best part of a bullpup, which is you pull the trigger once, gun goes brr, and then you shoot a lot of bullets. Semi-automatic bullpups have terrible triggers. I've never met a remote mount bullpup trigger that was any good. No, there's plenty of gun tubers out there that have React, but I want to be gun tuber plays. What's your take on the Browning high power? Like them. Used to have them. What do you think is Battlefield 6 like real life? I don't know. I've never played Battlefield 6, but I can tell you no. What's your favorite AR? My custom builds. What about the Vor X95 trigger? It's fine. It's a serviceable trigger. I'm not going to back off of what I said just because I sold you one, Mouse. It's fine for what it is. And for you, because you go to an indoor range, it's going to be a range toy. So you're not going to be able to get to the cadence that would make it feel like weird anyway. My brother said he's not a guy. He knows a guy selling a P90 for $700, but won't give me the guy's information. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that shit. Is that a 22 revolver or 22 rifle above the revolver? Yes, that is a Ruger 1022 Target. So it's a bull barrel 22 in a Sharps Brothers Heat Seeker chassis. What was a trash-ass pistol that killed that Navy guy? It was called a fellow Navy officer because the gun didn't do shit. He was shot by his coworker, and the coworker blamed the gun, hoping to get out of it. Read the news, buddy. Why do you have a lot of weapons like YouTube? What the heck do you do? Nothing. I don't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Max range is 24 yards if I go to Inglewood. Yeah, there you go. The FRT gives me a fully automatic feeling. I mean, it simulates quick fire, but no. but I get it. If you got a good finger, it can definitely make it feel that way. But if you get the chance to like spend like a day with full auto guns, you'll know the difference. When did you start getting into gun collecting? 2018. My daughter goes to the range. She always picks my 1911 over everything I own. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Historically, at least from my experience, every female I've ever taken to the range, yeah, I know girls, shut up. Every female I've ever taken to the range has shot 1911s better than a Glock. What are your thoughts on Shadow Systems? Massively overpriced junk. They're Gen 3 Glocks with a bunch of add-ons. They're way overpriced. Hard pass. What's your EDC? 1911. The thing I want is Real Burst. That's nice. When do we start going live on Tuesday? I'm going live 5 days a week now, Maddie. I'm trying to grow the channel organically. Well, I hope you don't need to send somebody on a trip to heaven. Geez. I have no reason to. The only reason I would ever use my guns in force would be if somebody was trying to take my life. You ever fired a belt fed? If so, what belt fed machine gun was it? No, I've never had the honor of shooting a belt fed. I'd like to someday. Do I got a bushwhacker? Yep. Trimmed the beard, trimmed the bush this morning. Wait, what? I said it yesterday. Our Tech 9's still good. Nope, never were. What's a good starter handgun? I can tell you what's reliable. I don't make suggestions for people, but Smith & Wesson M&P series, Canic Meta series, even Glocks are reliable first-time guns. I don't even have close to expensive guns compared to people like fucking Brandon Herrera and Demo Ranch and Kentucky Ballistics. They got money guns. I guess I'm just under a rock or just tweaking. Stop tweaking under a rock. My EDC is an STI 2011 and it works great. Nice. That's actually a really cool choice. I would love to get myself an STI DVC Tactical, but they're too much money now. I'd love to get my hands on one. I can't really use my STI Grandmaster because it's got a 6 1/4 inch barrel, a huge comp, and unless I run a Seymour or a side mount on it, no optic. American Tactical 5.56, that's a hard saw. That's a hard pass. Have you heard about the YouTube bots? There's lots of YouTube bots. Which ones are we referring to, buddy? Wait, was the rock, though? This was a bridge. Wait, this is a rock? Thought this was... Wait, what the... Okay, you lost me, Maddie. Sorry. Do I have a FAMAS or an FAL? Two totally different guns, but no. Opinion on the Hellcat. It's fine. I saw the 380 just came out. I may have to get my hands on one. You got a 500 Magnum? Nope. Brandon has a solid gold Breitling. Well, when you got that kind of money, do what you want to do, I guess. That's why he abandoned his gun manufacturing, basically. Oh, it's a lot of airsoft guns. Thank you. I'm a bot. She's a bot. We're all bot. That's what I thought. You're a thought. Everybody's hot. Let's go get got. The comment bots with questionable images as their PFP and FYI don't look at their subscriptions. Why would I do that, Beach? Where's your hair gone? I gave it to a homeless guy for warmth. I have a 44 Magnum. Nice. Can we agree the Micro Draco is the worst gun ever? It's one of the top 3 bad guns that were made famous because stupid people put them in stupid videos. And that's not to say I don't like rap, I don't like hip-hop, I don't like urban stuff. I love good hip-hop. What I hate is some dumbass like Tekashi fucking playing like he's hard and then fucking turning like a little bitch. I know, that's a deep cut, but it's the only thing that came to mind. Come on, bro. Small AKs are dope in premise. Well, yeah, but a micro penis is fine in premise too. It doesn't get in the way when you're playing basketball, but it doesn't mean that you want to always have one. You have a golden gun? No, I purposely don't own gold guns. Who speak some rappers? Aesop Rocky. Fucking. All of a sudden, my brain just went completely blank. I don't know anybody like that isn't famous, unfortunately. but my brain just literally fucking blanked out because you asked me to name people. I can't even remember my own name all of a sudden. Can't stand country music. I like all music, man. I'll even listen to calypso if I'm just weird. What gun is that below the wooden stock? Ruger 1022 in a custom chassis. Dude, you're hilarious. Thank you. I have like 47 guns. Nice. Ever weld a gun barrel? Nope. Kendrick, yeah. Oh, you got to meet Kendrick Lamar? That's cool. At lunch, I noticed I work with a psycho dude. Ate 3 Grizzlies dry, no condiments, with a big bottle of water. Psycho behavior. What's a Grizzly? Much love from the legions of the Taliban, Baldy. Smegula, what's going on? Dang, you ready for anything and everything? Nope. What chassis is that? That is the Sharps Brothers Heat Seeker chassis. And John over at Sharps Brothers sent that out to me so I can do a video. Last gun purchase, 365 fuse. Is a G3 Taurus a good sidearm, and can I do anything to improve it? Go to Lakeland. You can just Google them, Lakeland. Just type Taurus upgrades Lakeland. They make all kinds of stuff for the G3. I miss you. Been very sick lately. I'm sorry that's Megula. I hope you're feeling a little bit better now. What's your favorite EDC? 1911s. I've got 4 that I rotate out. It's not fair how gun dealers get to have fully automatic guns. Not all of them do. Only ones with SOTs, and they require very, very specific ownership rules because fucking some of them are stupid and they break the rules. Kendrick seemed depressed when I met him both times. A lot of like public figures, especially dudes, Eminem is that way apparently. A lot of dudes, they just kind of leave it all in their music and they're just chill, quiet, and calm. So they come off as depressed. He ate 3 hot dogs dry, no condiments. Oh, I don't put anything on my hot dogs either. Sorry. What's a green piece on your wall behind you? Beautiful arms. That is a non-firing replica of a Chiappa Rhino. Am I retired military or just into guns? Just into guns. I am the son of a career military man, but I never got to serve, unfortunately. Smegula! Is business doing good or better? No, I'm not doing anything with the gun store right now. I'm just trying to become, I'm trying to dedicate my time to doing YouTube stuff. So coming tomorrow will be the first sponsored video I've done. I'm signed with the talent agency. Just thinking about just pushing hard on the YouTube side. I'm still running the FFL. I still do transfers and stuff. That's so un-American. I'm Korean. If dog didn't have mustard on it when it went woof woof, it's not going to have any on it when I'm eating it. Why do you have so many guns? To protect me from invisible ghosts. Cream cheese and grilled onions. I would try the cream cheese, but not the grilled onions. Someone get rid of Kate, please. Yeah, more in butter guns, right? I have no butter guns. Everyone donate. We hit $1,000. So yeah, that's another thing. For those of you that are still in here, I set a goal of, I set it at $2,000. I don't know how it keeps dropping, but at $1,000, I will wear big F cup fake titties for Halloween. For $1,500, I'll wear something with it. CZ Shadow 2 or a Staccato P? Staccato can suck my left ball. Thoughts on Canics? Good guns. Bruce Banner's my guy. Yeah. What pistol are you carrying this week, or do you have a set you rotate through? Most of the time I carry a Para Ordnance Black Ops 1911 and 45 ACP. The only time I will rotate out really is if I'm checking out a gun from a manufacturer. Like when I have, when I originally started carrying the SIG 1911X, that went into the rotation for a while. It's not in the rotation anymore. It just sits in a safe. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Cat ears. You donate enough money, dude. I'll wear a fucking thong. I don't care. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Anything new going on? Not really, James. What is your normal screen name, please? So I don't have to go to your channel. You know my real name, so make sure you subscribe to goals 200K subs by the end of the year. We're almost there. Yep, we're getting there. My opinion on M18s. M18s are fine. Just change the trigger out and you will not have a single issue. My ability to read is very fucked up right now. We're not going super long tonight, so these daily videos are not going to be super long check-ins, maybe a couple hours. My dog is trying to sleep right now, so I'm not trying to wake him up. Diet Coke, baby. What about Glock 23s? Glock 23s in 40 cal can suck my right nut. So staccato can be on the left side and Glock can be on the right. Has Rocky been farting tonight? Yeah, pretty much because a good friend, Kat Derps, you've seen her name in here. She made catfish and gave him some, and he had some, and about 7 hours later, he started having fish farts. Needless to say, he likes catfish, but is a top rifle a Marlin? No, it is a Sears Model 43-103. I think the original manufacturer of that might have been Marlin, but it was sold and marked as a Sears. Hell yeah, 45 never goes wrong. Almost got a good new old stock 227 bid on Gunbroker. Only ever bid twice and got outbid both times. Yeah, it's not hard to get outbid on Gunbroker. You got to be sniping those. Do you have an AK? Yes, I've got 4. Have you tried any new Shadow Systems 9mm? Nope, Shadow Systems is a waste of money. They're Glock 3 clones. Why would you pay $800 for a Glock 3 clone? Why would you pay $300 more than a Glock for a Glock clone? Everyone make sure to double tap your phone. Plus, you still got to change parts to make it good. What's the beef with Staccato besides the price? The way they represent themselves, I have a problem with companies that represent themselves as one thing even though they're technically another. So Staccato wanted to get into the duty gun line, so they put Series 80 triggers in the carries, and then they marketed them as duty guns. They also did that so they didn't have to hand fit or hand finish their guns anymore, and yet they still raised their fucking price. $4,400 for an XC? Fuck no. That gun is not hand finished. It is not hand fit. It might be assembled and they might do some rudimentary finishing on it, but a Hayes Custom at $5,000 will outshoot a Staccato any day of the week and last longer. Can I send you an email? I know what you want to think and if it's a scam. Yes. Opinion on the DDM4 series. It's a one and done gun. If you like the DDM4, if you like Daniel Defense, get the one that you're going to use and just be done with it. That's what I say. I have a Series 70 Staccato. Yep, so the earlier ones, they make the Series 80 for police departments, I believe. The 2K11 is a better pistol and half the price. Virtually all 2011s are less than the Staccato. Would you say the Daniel Defense 9mm is a Shadow System red-headed stepchild 4-digit striker fire? You talking about the fucking H9? That has nothing to do with the Glock. It's based on the Hudson H9 design. No idea what to do with it. Keep it. They're not really worth much. Can't pick up guns on live streams, William. Iron sights or red dots? Both, honestly. Start with iron sights, transition to red dots. That way you have fundamentals down and then you can do both. I think my Staccato belonged to a cop before I bought it. Yep. I'm not really playing the cop. I don't like picking guns for scenarios I'm not ever going to be in. But I know many departments allow you to carry 1911 and 2011, so it would be 2011s. The cops can only buy Staccatos here in California from FFLs. That makes sense. What's your favorite gun? 1911s. Best red dot. That's a very subjective and personal thing. You have to check a bunch out and see what you like. If you're talking about bang for the buck, Holosuns are really good, although they can get expensive. Trijicon are probably some of the most reliable one, the RMR series, but again, very expensive, so it varies. Bruce, feel free to just get rid of stupid. I don't care anymore. I'm doing this every day, so if people need to go away, they need to go away. Sent the email, the seller has no rating, seems like a good price for what it is. God damn it. I can't do it on this computer. I changed all the hardware so it signed me out of everything. I will look later. Jeff Elliott, thank you, brother. Sent me $5 for the gun education and the titties. Do you have 50 BMG? Nope. And I don't just sit and answer questions, do I have, William. If you don't see it on the wall, it's not up there, then assume I don't have it. And it's not a game I like playing, brother. Can you walk? Barely. Just simply curious, what are your pros and cons of owning a gun or multiple guns? It's a very personal choice if you decide to get into firearms. If you get into guns because you're an enthusiast, other people's versions of pros and cons won't matter to you. As a person myself, my pros are, because of how I buy them, they're actually good investments. I like the challenge of shooting them accurately. I like seeing what different guns have different quirks and builds and things like that with them. Cons, cost. It's always cost. Cost is always the worst part of any gun. Shield 9 opinions. They're fine. William, I literally said, don't ask me, do I have? Which thoughts on Gerson? Gerson is fine. I've worked with them a few times. I have a couple of their guns. Decently solid. Out of the box, they shoot good. And they take tuning very well. Far left red handle, is that a Fusion, and do you like it if it is? Yes, it is the Fusion XF Pro. Fusion Firearms sent me that and the XP Pro. I really like the way that shoots. They sent me 2 barrels with it, and I have a third one for it. So right now it's got the ported barrel in it. Shoots great. My fan of Echelons. I have a Echelon with the metal frame on it. Completely makes the gun different, and I like it that way. How much do they cost? Give a range. Guns can cost anywhere from as little as $50-$60 all the way up to thousands of dollars. There is no range, really. I have to sign my taxes tonight with Mrs. Mouse and mail them out. Sorry, brother. Bruce goes to the range 2 times a week. Makes shorts, vids, and lives. And runs his own business. I don't know how he does it. Tactical Llama, what is going on? No, we are just going to do this. You the man. I'm a man. Don't punch me, as Easy Rider. The IRS already took their cut from my account. Well, fuck it. Don't send in the paperwork. Tell them they took the money prematurely and charge them. Have I ever shot a G11? No, I haven't. I don't know what that means, Luke. You can't, I mean, you could cut a port into your barrels. You can also cut the comp directly into the slide in the barrel, but if it has something that goes onto a threaded barrel, it's automatically not legal in California, so just consider that. You may have to send it out and have the comp cut directly into the slide in the barrel. Never shot a 700 nitro. Oh man, if I don't file, they can charge me a 5% penalty every month. I don't file even though I paid. No, fuck that. Still, charge them 17% for the money being taken out early since you were going to pay in payments and they took the money anyway. Tell them that they are violating your fiduciary rights as a American citizen and just start using weird legalese until they give up. Just bought the Mac 9 DS Duty. What's your thoughts? It's a pretty good gun. I have the T-Sauce variant, the BR9 Duty Gen 2 with the bull barrel. I need the Mac 9 double stack comp. My buddy has one down at Middletown. I may buy it from him because for some reason SDS decided to stop talking to me. I don't know. Maybe because I probably said some shit about them again. What's the green one on the right? It's a non-firing replica of a Chiappa Rhino. Got to book a movie ticket. You do you, brother. I'm only going for another 10 minutes. I am tired as fuck. My dog is sleeping, and I want to go to bed. So you might not get back in time, bro. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. If you're new here, hit the like button. That's all I ask. Consider subscribing. If you become a member, I may start doing giveaways again, optics, magazines, gift cards, etc. I've done a little bit of everything, so just consider that. Subscribers and members will get first crack at or highest number of entries for giveaways, and you have to be subscribed to get in. You don't have to be a member to get into some of the giveaways, but I will also do member-only giveaways. So for $2 a month, you could win a $150 optic. Get some rest. Plan on it. Show the wall before you go. Oh, I intend to. Don, what's up, dude? I mean, it's kind of the same as yesterday. I actually didn't move any of the guns because I was too fucking lazy. Why are Makarovs considered better than 1911s? That's very much a Russian thing to say, comrade, and they are not. You're also the kind of person who believes AK-47 is superior to 88mm howitzer. It is not. Somebody accused me of being Aryan earlier, by the way, Stone. I thought that was funny. Even with my eyes closed, you can tell I'm not white. Hey, you alive, boy? You want to come here? Or are you too tired? I think the fish farts have gotten to him, but yeah. I've had people think I was Hispanic. With that beard, I don't doubt it. I forgot your wife was Korean. Just subscribe. Thank you. I got the ticket for Good Fortune. We're seeing it on Saturday. I don't watch movies, so I don't even know what that is. I usually get aluminum CCI 357 ammo cheap from the partner agency we share ranges with for training, but it gets stuck all the time when I hit the plunger. Any tip for my revolver? Lube the cylinder. What's happening is the steel case is expanding and grabbing the inside of your cylinder, so you can take a polishing stone to the inside of the cylinder, but you got to be careful because if you take off too much material, then the round won't seat correctly. But if you polish the inside of each cylinder bore in the revolver, it might make it smoother, so the round will come out, the spent shell will come out. It's the McManus. I'm new here, just bought a PSA dagger. How do you feel about those? Palmetto State in general manufactures to a price point or sells to a price point. Because of that, their quality is... It's gotten better in recent years, mostly in the last eight months, I'd probably say. They've definitely stepped up their quality. They've never sent me a gun for review. I've bought a lot of guns from them, but they've never sent me a gun. Anyways, if you know that that is a potential issue, you can get around them really easy, and then the guns are fine. Can't pick up guns, Jaden. Ah, fuck me, please. Yeah, stop typing in all caps. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. Breath slides out good on my carry revolver aluminum. So far, but cheap. Yeah, but if it's not functioning right and you're wasting time when you could be practicing, is it really a good deal? Listen to Joe, polish the inside of the revolver cylinder with the Dremel soft polishing bit and Mother's Aluminum Magic. Yep. 9mm versus 45 ACP for the Rock Island 1911. Just subbed, by the way. Thanks for the knowledge. My first Rock Island 1911 was actually a 9mm 22 TCM combo gun in double stack form. But if you want a traditional experience of a 1911, get a 45. But 9mm gives you an extra round of capacity and they're lighter shooting. The overall weight, 39 to 42 ounces of a 9mm 1911, makes them shoot super well. Is that a 50 round on the shelf behind you? Yes. So the two silver tip ones are armor piercing incendiary 50 BMGs, and then the slightly shorter yet fatter one is a 416 Barrett round. I'm good with the Dremel. Ask anybody. Yeah, but this is a soft polishing bit, not an actual honing bit, so the odds of him taking off too much material just using a polishing bit are quite small. All right, I'm going to go over the wall. I'm going to show you the dog, and then I'm going to bed. So let me stand up and turn around. Little green thing is a non-firing replica of a Chiappa Rhino. Everybody hang on to your nuts. All right, so Drumhouse 3D printed me some grips. I got to finish those off. 2011 mag, 37mm shell, 416 Barrett and 250s. The Chiappa Rhino that Drunk Mouse made for me. Tanfolio Witness in 9mm, the red handle there. Above it is the Chris Finks SDP Compact Alpha with the aluminum grip module. Hammerly 22 1911, Heritage Heritage Barkeep 22 with the Magnum cylinder. Dan Wesson DWX, yes, I hate it and I love it at the same time. Fusion Firearms XP Pro, great shooting Glock taking alternative to a platypus or the staccatos and much cheaper. The Gerson Match X with the custom finish and custom grip. The Yeet Cannon. The Heat Seeker chassis Ruger 1022 bull barrel with my suppressor on it, making that an $1,800 22. Yay! Sears Model 43103, very nice. Chronicle Arms G-Force Chronicle 1911 in 45 ACPA. Daria DY9 with the island ports. The Fusion Firearms XF Pro. So that's the one that's shaped vaguely Glockish, but it's a metal frame gun that only has 4 parts compatible with Glocks. I almost had that Gerson. Yeah, you almost did. You never had me. You never had your car. T-Sauce Night Stalker, also a custom gun. And then the Star Arms Firestar M45. Caltech KS7. And then my dog. Hey, Rocky. Hey, Rocky. Say goodbye to buddy. Hey, Rocky. This is Rocky. As you can see, he's super tired. But he's still smiling because he's a good boy. Who's my good boy, buddy? Yeah, who's my good boy? You ready to go to bed, buddy? All right, tell everybody arf arf. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, again, every day starting at 8 p.m. If we only go an hour, hour and a half, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the dog barks. That's the way the pneumatic press crushes your ding-dong. But you guys have a good night. Rocky's going to go to bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See you, bud. You too, McManus. Get rid of the can. Oh, I still got it. We'll take in as much as I can. Tune in as much as I can. Thank you. Thank you. Just subscribe. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. We're trying to get to 200K. That's like a plateau. When I get to 200K, it will open a lot of doors for sponsors. So Rocky needs sponsors so that he can be swimming in kibbles. See if you can check my email. I will after the live, brother. I'll check it on my phone. All right, guys. See you later.